what I believe to be the most important civil rights issue of our time right now, which is education. About a year ago, we started shooting this documentary in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we wanted to take a look at a very specific, very critical, and often underserved population, which would be kids of color in poverty. What we know about education is that it can be the great equalizer. We know that the only way to move from poverty into America's diminishing, it's fair to say, middle class is through education. But there are obstacles that we know, especially for kids of color, in poverty, make it very, very tough to make that move. Poverty creates very real challenges. Lack of fathers creates very real challenges. Lack of jobs creates very specific and real problems, and those problems have huge implications for children. So we looked at the state of Minnesota because 20 years ago it was the birthplace of the charter school movement. And yet, when you look at schools, when we're talking about charter schools, we're talking about public schools, overall, in the big picture, they actually don't do so well for their students of color. There is this massive achievement gap, and achievement gap being the difference between how white students score on those standardized tests and black students, right? So in that state, there's this massive achievement gap, and it's actually something you see in many cities around the country. So the question that we wanted to try to tackle in this particular documentary was, what's the solution? It's not just about Minneapolis, obviously, right? It's an issue we deal with where I live in New York City and every single major city in the country. And why it matters, of course, is that this nation is becoming more brown, right? Children of color are overwhelmingly the fastest growing population. So the question we wanted to examine was a school that is run by a gentleman who's here today. He's going to join us on the panel a little bit. His name is Eric Mahmoud. And we wanted to examine what he is doing in his particular charter school. He's been able to close the achievement gap. But there are people who are criticizing what he's doing. They want to know, is it sustainable? What does it do to the public schools, the district schools as they call them in his area? And can you keep up these great expectations that they have for these children over the long haul? So our documentary is called Great Expectations, and we begin with a little boy. His name is Lavon Longstreet, and I sat down with him a year ago, last summer, and we picked up a book. Anybody who's got little kids in their lives knows Duck on a Bike. And we sat down with Duck on a Bike. He's about to start second grade, Lavon, and it spoke volumes, reading this book with him, about what his challenges in education are. So we begin with that. Thank you for joining us for our special screening, our debut of our 6th Black in America Great Expectations.